Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to do the n queen problem. So what is the problem? The problem is to place n queens on a n by n chessboard where n value is greater than 3 in such a way such that they cannot strike each other. Remember, problem has no solution for n is less than equal to 3. Coming to the history, this problem was first published as a 8 queen problem by Max Bezel in a German chess magazine. 2 years later, Franz now gave 92 solutions to the 8 queen problem. He also generalized it to the n queen problem. Later on, Gauss studied the problem for finding systematic solutions rather than the hit and try method. And now it is again in the limelight with the advent of computer science. It has gained a lot of interest and it is referred and used widely for search algorithms, backtracking, etc. Let's look at a formula which is used for finding the solution to the n queen problem when our number of queens is prime. The queens qi can be placed in the jith position along the ith rows using the formula ji is congruent to p plus 1 by 2 multiplied by I modulus of p. And we take ji is congruent to 0 mod p as p modulus of p, so that whenever you get the residue or the remainder as 0, we will treat it as p. I value will be greater than equal to 1 and less than equal to p. Before we apply the formula, let's look at a very simple way of placing these queens. We will start with the first row. Place the first queen q1 on p plus 1 by 2th position. Say it is j1. Once you've placed that, after j1, count p plus 1 by 2, moving right along the row and reaching row 2 in case you reach the end of the row, and place Q2. Continue till all the queens are placed. Now, if in the same row your two queens fall, then what we do, we find our R which is congruent to Ji mod of P, and now we will count our cells towards the right and place the queen. This will be clear when we take an example. What if our prime P is 5, which means that we have a 5 by 5 board. P plus 1 by 2, you can see, will be nothing but 3. We will count the third place, and as 8 is congruent to 3 mod of 5, we will take the 8th place if two queens fall in the same row. Let's start then. So we have a 5 by 5 board and we have to place 5 queens in such a way that none of them attacks the other. As p plus 1 by 2 you saw was nothing but 3, p is 5. We'll start by placing the first queen in our first row at the third place. Now, moving right, count 3 places. So 1, 2, 3. And now we'll place the queen here. So second queen has been placed. Now count again 3. So 1, 2, 3. But see, if we place the queen here, it will have two queens in the second row. So move to the 8th place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this position, we place the third queen. Again count 3 and move towards the right. So 1, 2, 3. We place the fourth queen here. Now count 3. So 1, 2, 3. If we place the queen here, we'll have two queens, q4 and q5 in the fourth row. So now count 8. As you have already seen, 8 was congruent to 3 mod of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our fifth queen has been placed. So this is how you do. It is good to see how the formula is applied. As your p is 5, the formula ji congruent to p plus 1 by 2 I mod of p first gives us j1. We are taking I value to be 1, means p plus 1 by 2, which you already know is 3, multiplied by I, which is 1 in our case. This is our I. So you have multiplied by I modulus 5, gives us congruence to 3 mod of 5. So the third position is used for placing the first queen. And that is what you have done here. You can see first queen is in the third place. Come to the second row. Now I value is 2. So your p plus 1 by 2 into I is nothing but 6, which is congruent to 1 mod of 5, which means your second queen will be placed at the first position in the second row. You can see in the second row, queen number 2 is placed in the first cell. Come to I is equal to 3. Now, p plus 1 by 2 into I gives us 9 modulus 5, which is congruent to 4 mod of 5. So, you are using the fourth position for placing the third queen. Your third queen is in the fourth place. If we take I value to be 4, your J4 will be congruent to 12 mod of 5, which is congruent to 2 mod of 5. So our fourth queen is placed in the second position. When I value is 5, you see J5 is congruent to 15 modulus of 5, which is congruent to 0 mod 5. And you've already seen when we get the residue as 0, we replace it by 5, the prime P itself. So your fifth queen goes to the fifth position in the last row, in the fifth row. You can see here, fourth queen is placed in the second place or the cell, and the fifth queen is placed in the fifth cell of the last row. There is also a recursive formula. You can refer to Thomas Cauchy. J naught is taken to be 0. Ji is congruent to J of I minus 1 plus P plus 1 by 2 modulus of P, where I value is greater than equal to 1 and it is less than equal to P minus 1. Jp is taken to be P. Again, here we've taken Ji as the ith position. Now apply the formula to same P is equal to 5. Now J1 will be nothing but J0 plus 3 modulus 5, as P plus 1 by 2 is 3, and J0 will be 0. So this is congruent to 3 mod of 5. So it's the third position as you've already done. Second row, your I value is 2. You get J1 plus 3 modulus 5. From your first row, you have the J1 value as 3. So we place J1 as 3 and we will get J2 is congruent to 6 mod of 5, which is congruent to 1 mod of 5. So second queen is placed in the first position. You can always check the rest of them yourself. You just saw when n is prime, we have a formula for finding the solutions. But when n is not prime, there is no direct formula which gives us all the solutions for different values of n. Another thing to note, there are two types of solutions, symmetric and non-symmetric. Symmetric solutions can be found by rotating the board 90 degrees or 180 degrees or 270 degrees, or by flipping it. By flipping we mean finding the reflection. I'll just show you what do we mean by that. If the solutions are valid, you will notice queens have the same relative position. To understand symmetry, let's take an example. If n is equal to 4, you can see on the board the placement is 2413. If you rotate 90 degrees, 180 degrees or 270 degrees, you will have the same placement. Now flip it. By flipping, we mean the reflection. So if you fold the board from the center, you can see your arrangement 2413 is nothing but 3142. So it's giving you another valid solution by finding the reflection along the y-axis. And you will notice even when you find the reflection along the x-axis or when you are flipping horizontally, the other solution you will get will be 3142. In this table, you can see for different values of n, we have symmetric and non-symmetric solutions. As you are already aware, for n is equal to 1, we have a trivial solution. For n is equal to 2 and n is equal to 3, we do not have a valid solution. So starting from n is equal to 4, here you can see when we take n is equal to 4, we get 2 symmetric and 1 non-symmetric solution. For 5, we have 10 symmetric and 2 non-symmetric. For 6, we have 4 symmetric and 1 non-symmetric. For n is equal to 7, we have 40 symmetric solutions and only 6 non-symmetric solutions. Now coming to the chessboard, where n value is 8, we have 92 symmetric solutions and 12 non-symmetric solutions. So where is this n-queen problem used? It's used in mathematics, in recreational mathematics, graph theory, combinatoric, computer science, for parallel computing, artificial intelligence, backtracking, algorithm in optimization. There are so many places where it is being used. There are some problems which are closely related to the n-queen problem. The first one is the rook's problem. As you know that the rook can only move horizontally or vertically. So it is a simpler version of the n-queen problem. So what is the problem? It is to place a rook in every row in such a way that no two rooks can attack each other. In the knight's tour problem, the problem is to place knights on the chessboard such that it visits every square exactly once. In a Latin square, we place n different symbols in every row such that each symbol appears in each row and column only once. The core principle of n-queen problem is used in many constraint satisfaction problems like automated timetable generation, in Sudoku, in graph coloring, where we are supposed to assign colors to vertices of a graph such that no two vertices have the same color, in Hamiltonian cycles, in puzzles like rat in a maze problem, in resource allocation, whether it is employee shifts which have to be allocated or it is network bandwidth where we allocate communication channels to avoid signal interference, robotic path planning, crypto arithmetic, etc. Let's do one last thing, hit and try. Many times, by swapping positions, we get another valid placement. Let's take n is equal to 5 and see how it works. What we do is, we will first write the even digits, that is 2, 4, then write the odd digits 1, 3, 5. On the top of that, write digits 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this gives us rows. We have the placement. In the first row, place the queen at second place. In the second row, place the queen at the fourth place. In the third row, place the queen at the first place. In the fourth row, place the queen at the third place. And then in the fifth row, place the queen in the fifth place. Now, you can see your arrangement is done. What if you swap the positions 3 and 5? You will still have a valid arrangement. For n is equal to 6, I have shown that you can try it yourself. These are the two valid arrangements which we've got by swapping the last two positions 3 and 5. Thank you for watching. We will be back with another interesting topic. Until then.